guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be doing a story time. Now, this is my first ever story time video. I've never done anything like this before. As you can tell from the title of this video, the story time is going to be about George Jetson. And not only is the story time about George Jetson, it's also going to be about Dick Dastardly. So in this story time, I'm going to be telling you how I first met George and Dastardly and how I got into their shows and all that stuff. So let's get into the video. So I first met George back in 2011. I remember I was browsing channels on TV and I came across this one channel that I used to watch all the time. And they were playing Jetsons the movie on there. And I remember thinking to myself, wait, isn't the Jetsons like the counterpart to the Flintstones or something like that? And it turns out I was right. So I ended up watching the movie and I thought it was a really, really awesome film. Many people dislike the movie because it has flaws, but I respect their opinions and I think it was just a really good movie. Now, at the time of watching this movie, I had no idea what the Jetsons was, who any of the characters were, and I had no idea what the Jetsons was, period. So as I was watching the movie, I suddenly fell in love with George. The moment when I first saw him, I was like, oh my goodness, he is really, really cute. And that's how it all began. And I'm like, okay, I love this guy so much. Fun fact, I used to watch Jetsons the movie every day after school because I was just in love with the movie. I thought it was really good. And again, because I was in love with George. And this was my only source of Jetsons media. This was my only source of Jetsons media! So I didn't have the episodes at the time. So it was my only way of watching George, and yeah. So for Christmas that year, I ended up receiving the Jetsons complete first season, the Jetsons season 2 volume 1, the Jetsons meet the Flintstones, and an official copy of Jetsons the movie. Boy, was I really excited. And I also got this really cool Jetsons ornament. And then I eventually received the Jetsons season 2 volume 2, the Jetsons season 3, and Rockin' Judy Jetson. So now that I've shown you some of my Jetsons collection, let's get back to George. So I love George because he's super cute, he's handsome, he's a sweetie. I also love George's clothes, his hair, and his sweet smile. So now that you know why I love George so much, let's talk about why I love his best friend, Dick Dastardly. Now you're probably wondering, why are George and Dastardly best friends? Well, I'll tell you that later on in the video. It was 2013 and I was looking at some Hanna-Barbera theme songs on YouTube. I had stumbled across the Dastardly and Muttley in their Flying Machines theme song, and I was like, what is this? So I decided to watch it. And after I watched the theme song, I thought it was the most catchiest song ever because Dastardly, who I didn't know at the time, was singing "Stop the Pigeon, Stop the Pigeon," you know, and I just thought it was the most catchiest thing ever. Now, I don't really know what exactly happened up until this point, but I think I looked up Dastardly and Muttley in their Flying Machines, and as I was like, who is this, character singing the theme song? And then I found out that it was Dick Dastardly, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this guy. I ended up reading more about him, and I found out that he was on this show called Wacky Races. And then I eventually found out that he was also on Yogi's Treasure Hunt and a show called Fender Bender 500, which was part of Wake, Rattle, and Roll. And speaking of Stop the Pigeon and Wacky Races, I have them on DVD. I love Dastardly because he is dashing, debonair, despicable, devilish, handsome, sweet, funny, and just a great villain. even though he didn't win a wacky race. But he did. And he never stopped the pigeon either. Yes, Dastardly cheats in every episode of Wacky Races, but at the end of the episode Creepy Trip to Lemon Twist, he did not cheat. The judges were so stupid and they made Dastardly lose the race all because he cheated. I could spend a lot of time talking about that episode, but let's just continue. But now that you know why I love these two so much, I want to talk about why they are best friends. George and Dastardly are best friends not only because they are my favorite cartoon characters, but also because they just get along so well with each other. And you're probably also wondering, how did Dastardly and George meet? Well, let me tell you, they both met at the Hanna-Barbera Company picnic. Dastardly was doing archery, but wasn't doing so well because he couldn't hit the target. So George overheard this frustration of his and went to go see what was wrong. George showed Dastardly how to do archery properly, and Dastardly was amazed that George could hit the target. That's because George did a lot of sports back in high school. So after George demonstrated how to do archery, Dastardly tried it for himself and actually hit the target, and he was really proud of himself. After that, the two introduced themselves and got to know each other better. And they realized that they had common interests. The two of them are both really funny. They love to paint, they love to read, watch TV, they love to go on adventures together, and they also love to learn new things. And that's what makes them best friends. So yeah guys, that's why I love George Jetson and Dick Dastardly so much. They are such sweet guys, and I talk to them a lot, so you could say that they are my comfort characters. They cheer me up when I'm feeling sad, and I do the same for them. If they're feeling upset or angry, I like to cheer them up, because that's what friends do, right? But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this backstory / story time on how I first met George Jetson and Dick Dastardly and how I got into their shows and stuff. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!